The Kindness of Wealth, a heartwarming tale. In the bustling heart of New York City, amid the streets filled with the vibrant energy of life, Nathaniel Blackwood lived in a penthouse that overlooked Central Park. It was a space designed to impress. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and art pieces worth millions adorned the walls. Yet, despite its magnificence, it felt hollow. Nathaniel was a billionaire not only by fortune but also by ambition. His days were consumed by meetings, negotiations, and deals that transformed industries. Yet, the real heartache lay in his family. Nathaniel's marriage to his wife, Isabella, was strained by the weight of their wealth and his constant absence. Their son, Oliver, filled their home with a warmth that even gold could not buy. Oliver, with his messy hair and bright blue eyes, was a curious child who adored exploring the world. Unfortunately, his inquisitiveness was often drowned out at the extravagant dinners where adults discussed matters far beyond his comprehension. Every evening, the lavish spread on the dining table, prepared by the finest chefs, was a feast to the eyes but devoid of meaningful conversations. In a corner of the opulent dining room, Oliver often sat with his toy cars, wishing for his father's attention but fearing to interrupt his important discussions. One chilly autumn night, Nathaniel had gathered a select group of his business associates for dinner. They had just returned from a successful venture in Silicon Valley, and the ambience was buzzing with excitement. As exotic dishes were served, Oliver felt invisible, his small voice drowned out by the laughter and booming conversations about profits and market shares. "Nathaniel, your insight into the tech sector is invaluable," boomed one associate, clinking his glass. Amongst such admiration, Oliver looked down at his plate of gourmet food, a wave of sadness washing over him. Tonight, he felt particularly alone, and a lump formed in his throat. As he glanced at his father, laughter erupted at the other end of the table. But Nathaniel hadn't even noticed him, half hidden behind a mountain of platters. Feeling despair, Oliver's little heart ached with a yearning to be seen. "Dad," he muttered softly, hoping his father would turn, but his voice was lost in the glamour. Finally, with a courageous whisper that pierced the chatter like a sudden silence, he asked, "Dad, do you love me?" The room froze. Silence enveloped the dinner as all heads turned towards the small voice. Nathaniel, momentarily stunned, felt a rush of panic and guilt, realizing that amidst all his professional accolades, he'd failed in his most crucial role, being a father. Kneeling beside Oliver, Nathaniel could see the pain etched on his son's face. The glimmer of innocence that once shone bright was now dimmed by the weight of loneliness. He found it hard to speak, his own emotions tangled in a web of self-recrimination. "Oliver, Nathaniel's voice faltered. How could he articulate the chaos of his thoughts? Instead, he wrapped his arms around his son, pulling him close as if to shield him from the harsh reality. "It's okay to feel sad, buddy," Nathaniel said, his tone softening. "I love you, and I'm so sorry for not being here." In a rare moment of vulnerability, Nathaniel realized that all his success meant nothing if he failed to connect with the people who mattered most. The tears trickling down Oliver's cheeks tugged at his heartstrings like nothing ever had. This was a moment of awakening, as he understood that the true power of wealth lay in love, not material possessions. Nathaniel made a promise that night he would commit to being a better father. The next day, he cleared his schedule for the first time in years. Rather than attending business lunches, he surprised Oliver at school, bringing cupcakes that they shared with his classmates. As the weeks passed, he engaged in small yet significant rituals. Weekend mornings were designated for bike rides in Central Park, with Nathaniel and Oliver racing down paths, laughter echoing against the trees. They often spent evenings sitting on the porch, Oliver recounting stories while Nathaniel listened intently, savoring the simple joy of being present. Their bond began to flourish. During one memorable dinner, Oliver turned to Nathaniel with a thoughtful expression and asked, "Can we maybe invite some friends over for dinner, just us?" The innocent request melted Nathaniel's heart. as he recognized Oliver's desire for genuine connection. Excited by Oliver's suggestion, they decided to host a family dinner, inviting their closest friends and their children. Nathaniel's penthouse was transformed into a family-friendly space here. A table laden with colorful dishes and laughter filled the air. As families mingled, Oliver glowed with joy, surrounded by love and friendship. Encouraged by the success of their gathering, Nathaniel and Oliver explored ways to give back. They initiated a weekly community dinner, inviting families from nearby shelters to join them. Each Sunday evening, their home buzzed with chatter, laughter, and sometimes poignant conversations reflecting life's challenges. Through these dinners, Nathaniel witnessed the transformative power of kindness. Seeing families come together over shared meals filled him with a purpose he had long forgotten. They shared stories, laughter, and life lessons that transcended status and wealth. The experience not only enriched their lives but also built a lasting sense of community. As the years unfolded, Nathaniel found himself leading a double life. By day, he was the sharp, success-driven CEO, but at home, he had transformed into an involved father and compassionate community member. Through his journey, he learned that as much as he revered wealth, love and kindness were the true currencies that enriched an individual's life. As Oliver blossomed into a kind-hearted teenager, he often reflected on their journey together. He had learned empathy and the importance of connection through those shared meals. Nathaniel, too, felt an undeniable change within himself. A once cold and distant figure became one filled with warmth and understanding. One evening, as they prepared for another community dinner, Oliver turned to his father. "Dad, what if we expand this? We could involve other neighborhoods, start a food drive, or have workshops to help people build skills for jobs." Inspired by his son's initiative, Nathaniel immediately saw the potential impact. Together, they founded a non-profit organization focused on community support, combining resources from Nathaniel's successful business with Oliver's passion for kindness. Their efforts blossomed, and soon, they organized open events featuring workshops on resume building, financial literacy, and cooking classes for families. Their story began attracting attention, not just in New York City but across the nation. They were interviewed, sharing their journey of transformation and how a billion-dollar empire became a vessel for kindness. Nathaniel often stated, "Wealth has its place, but it is our responsibility to share our blessings with our community." Years later, as Nathaniel stood before a gathered crowd in Central Park, surrounded by Oliver and their community, he felt a swell of pride. This journey began with a small moment of vulnerability. Love ignited a flame that has inspired change far beyond my imagination. The end.